Right here is where it happened. So either the icy snow, because there's a lot of ice underneath of it that's weighing things down, something knocked the pole down. When that happens, he can walk over it. Now I can feed. Happy back to work day. That's what he does. He gets in the barn, knocks over all my feed. Unfortunately, that one was dog feed. This is part of the reason. Okay, chores are done, giving the cows water. Here's what the problem is. We got a lot of slush. That is a heavy snow we got last night. It's mainly just water with some ice and it froze. So it's making my electrical lines dip. And so as soon as he sees that, he's gonna take advantage of the opportunity because he can clear that all day. So I'm probably gonna turn them off and get this ice off each wire itself, because I don't know if we're gonna get above freezing today, but that's the cause. That is the problem, was the heavy wet snow taking my line down. What y'all doing coming here throwing snowballs at the man? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? Ah. Oh, you whiffed. You whiffed. All right, let me get this done and I'll come play with y'all.
Okay.
Just got the feed done. Apparently it's snowball fight time. Ah.
Did I get you?
Yeah, you got me. Got you.
Did I get you?
Right here on your side. Only gonna leave one of us. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. Ready?
Go down, son. Think about everyone.
Ready?
Yeah.
Drop. We'll make it. That was fun, y'all.
Yeah.
You have fun?
Yeah.
Braylon, did you have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were also in it too because I kept getting you.
He sure did. He got you all too. All right, after a snowball fight, sitting by a nice toasty fire with some hot chocolate's the way to do it, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Hopefully we all don't get sick.
Every single Christmas, you guys gotta do that.
That's right. Thanks, Mama, for the hot chocolate. I didn't get no hot chocolate. But the kids sure did appreciate you getting it, though. All right, T-bone's taken care of. Fence is good to go now. I can't stand winter. Thought I would like it better than sweating, but I don't. I just don't. I'm gonna admit it. But we did have fun with the kids, done a little snowball fight. Mama got them some nice hot chocolate and kept the home fire burning for us. And now it's dinner time. So dinner is brought to you a little differently, and it's because we're doing something.
Yep.
Okay, so what are we doing?
He said it's different, but it's really not that different.
No.
Okay, so there's a challenge that goes around every January and February. It's called the Three Rivers Challenge. It's by Three Rivers Homestead. Last year I heard about it, but we were so freshly here and still unpacking, so it just didn't happen. This year I really wanted to do it. So what the challenge is you cycle out your stuff that you have in your pantry and your freezers, your dehydrated foods, whatever, anything that you preserved or that you have, like even if it's store-bought, but that you've had in your pantry for a while. You cycle it out and you get rid of it by not going to the grocery store at all, either for January and February or just January, whatever. It sounds crazy, however, it's not really much different than what we do. It's just being a little bit more intentional about it. So the areas that will slack the most are snacks. But we'll figure that out. It'll be fun.
So something that we knew we were going to do this. However, we're taking it like an extra little step. Now, obviously, it's our own house, and we can do it however we want to do it, and you can too if you want to participate.
There really are no rules.
There's
you make
zero
your own rules.
Right. But something that we're going to do is, and it's something that we kind of plan from the sustainability, is like this unexpectedly happened, right? So like we didn't go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of stuff.
We did not. I can't, honestly, I don't think we've been to the grocery
in probably over a month as
yeah,
it is.
I think it was after Thanksgiving, like maybe the week after Thanksgiving.
Right.
I don't remember, and it is now January 3rd.
Yeah, so we are starting already with
we don't go much. We mostly just go for snacks.
Right, but what my point is, like, we're already out of snacks.
Yeah.
Like they're not here, so it isn't like you can like ease yourself and just take a little bit and then get there. We are truly starting with our pantry, and again, that's just how we're going to try to challenge ourselves because we like that whole unexpected sustainability. We just had an ice storm basically outside. There's a good chance that you wouldn't be able to go for a while if it stayed frozen. So kind of taking that mindset for this. So our meals for the past 3 days have been completely pantry.
Yep.
The biggest part that's going to be hard is because it's January is the produce piece.
Yes.
And our son loves raw veggies.
Yep.
And that's something at this time we can't grow in the winter. We do grow our salad greens and different stuff like that throughout the winter. So we'll see how that goes. That's a very nutritionist thing that our son likes to eat, and we don't want to cut that.
We don't want to deprive him of that. So if we go, it'll be just for that.
Yeah.
As far as milk, dairy, I have a ton of butter that we made and saved. I have a ton of milk powder. I know that sounds weird, but we just get things like that. So that's going to be our milk. Like, we're not going to go buy milk from the store. You probably think we have some from our cow, but she is dried up for the 1,000th time. She is not in milk right now because hopefully she's pregnant. And then a couple backstory things. When we moved here, we took all of our canned goods that we had at our last place. So there's not much of that left, but there is still some. So those are the first things that we're cycling through. We're also going to cycle through a lot of our canned meat and hopefully get that all out so that we can start fresh. We do have pork from Mama Pig. We still have chickens that we butchered last year. And we have a lot of butcher box meat that we get every month. So.
And ground turkey from our turkeys we butchered.
Yep.
That's the number one thing we need to start cycling through is definitely that turkey.
And we still do have a lot of canned vegetables that we canned in previous years. So mainly cycling through that stuff so that we can start fresh when the garden comes this year.
Right. And so why do all this, right? I think everyone is guilty of preserving a lot of food and then like not touching it, right? Like just not touching it, or you made something that you thought you would like at the time and it's not something that you eat all the time. This is that purpose. The purpose is to get those things off your shelves while they're still shelf stable, right? You don't want it to go bad and you look and dump out a canned good that you put a lot of effort into canning, right? So this is the effort to get that cleared out and get it done. But the next level is something that for homesteaders and farmers that is very important, and that's, are we preserving the right things? Are we growing the right things, and are we preserving the right things for our family? So we all know that we all can a lot of tomatoes, right? That seems to be like the number one thing that's canning is tomatoes. Well, do you really want to eat tomatoes all the time? So are you canning a good variety of items to be sustainable and also have value in your food for at least a month? And so that's something that we're going to be documenting through this process is what else do we need to be growing and preserving that can maybe add to this pantry goal kind of thing.
And not everything that we're going to be eating this month was grown or preserved by us. I have a ton of dry goods storage. Again, some from when we moved. So we got to cycle through that because we do order in bulk and stuff like that. So you have to cycle through it. You can't just buy it and let it sit. Ideally that would be awesome if we never just have to touch it so that we have all this available to us if something happens, but it's just not realistic. It has to be cycled through so that you can get more and figure out if it's bad and whatnot.
Right. And so we will link, what's her name?
Three Rivers Homestead.
Three Rivers Homestead, her Instagram and her YouTube down in the description below if you want to join. So what's for dinner tonight? All
right, so first is chicken. It is, I can't remember if it's our chicken or Butcher Box chicken. I think it was Butcher Box, but I just seasoned it very simply. I put some cinnamon on it and everything but the bagel seasoning. Just trying to keep it simple, not doing anything fancy. We've also got some rice going in the Instapot. It was rice that I bought in bulk, and that Like it's the first round that needs to be gone through. But I'm gonna add something to that makes it better because we aren't like huge rice people. So you might have saw me this past year can my pineapple zucchini, whatever it is, relish, salsa,
It's like a salsa,
whatever it is. And I'm gonna put that in the rice, and I think it's gonna be really good. It's kind of gonna make it like citrusy, islandy. I don't know. We'll see if we like it. If we do, it's gonna be a really good use for this. Because like I said, we're just not huge rice people. It's plain. And then last but not least was canned green beans and potatoes that we grew at our garden in our last homestead and pressure canned it, and we're still going through that.
Which is by far my favorite thing that she cans.
It's really good.
I love the green beans and taters. If you're unfamiliar, you can can those two together instead of canning them separately, and it is fantastic because for our family of 4, that's the perfect amount that we can do instead of opening up 2 different cans. Yeah. I'll link that video down below too. All right, so it hasn't been that long ago that you all saw us build this pantry, which I'm going to show you all the downstairs pantry because I think there was some confusion thinking this is all we had. No, this is short-term storage only. This is stuff that we need to cycle through with like in the next 2 months kind of thing. So go ahead.
Okay, so some of my ideas that I have, obviously we have a lot of ground turkey. That's a little bit of our squash, but not much of it. And that's some of our peppers, but we have way more down in the basement. Here's the zucchini salsa. But anyways, with the turkey and the peppers and the squash and then all of our eggs that we get from our chickens, I'm thinking of doing a lot of crustless quiches. I usually make it with crust, but I'm not gonna buy any crust. I don't have any, and there's a very low probability of me getting up every morning and making a hot crust from scratch.
But I'll tell you what,
negative probability.
I love the crustless quiches. It's very good because it gets its own little crispy crust.
Yeah. So a lot of that, we're gonna use a lot of that, just get that gone. We've only got some cowboy candy left over, so we can use that in salads and nachos. I do want to finish up our pickles, which once we run out of the kids' favorite store-bought pickles, they'll have to eat those.
That's right.
I do want to start cycling through our okra. Not all of it's good. Some of it was too big, so we just kind of have to pick through that. The tomatoes have got to go this year. Not the spaghetti sauce. I canned that last year. But these tomatoes, they've got to be used before the garden comes back around. So
yeah, and thankfully it's winter and all kinds of chili can be done.
Yep, we're going to get creative there. And this is nowhere near what we have in dry goods, but we're going to focus a lot on going through the rice and the noodles and the flours and the pancake mixes, stuff like that, and just getting that stuff cycled out. Also cornmeal. We've been trying to go through a lot of our cornmeal.
Which some ideas there. We make our own homemade cornbread. Yep. So, you know, we can just start doing that a little bit more in meals and that'll kill that down. Pancake, obviously that's very good because we're obviously probably going to run out of meat. So pancake for breakfast instead of, you know, bacon and sausage, such like that, which will probably go out.
Also lentils. I've got a ton of lentils to go through, like 25 pounds worth of lentils.
That's a lot. And down here is a bunch of onions that we had gotten through as your standard. And so they've been in our basement for quite some time. And as you can tell, is still in perfect health. However, since they are starting to get a little bit older, even though they're in great shape and they've been doing very well in our basement, I think Jen is going to be doing some caramelized onions. And then we're going to whip out that nice fancy pressure canner and do that action. Isn't that right, babe?
Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be really good. That'll help us cipher through those. So then we can, that'll get us close to when we're growing our own onions to be getting back into fresh. But we'll be doing quite a few of those just for caramelized. And what she's about to show you, I just wanted to reiterate again. I know we are basically a dairy farm for the most part because we have dairy goats and dairy cows. We are big believers in giving our animals a break, especially when they're pregnant. So all of our dairy animals are dry at this time, but come spring, everybody will be back in milk with their animals.
You can preserve butter and stuff like that. Milk just doesn't. So when you don't have dairy animals in milk, you got to come up with another plan.
And y'all saw us try to freeze dry it. That didn't go well.
We tried.
We tried. But an alternative for you non-dairy farmers or, you know, because you can't preserve milk, basically is what we're saying. This is an option.
So I buy a lot of these. I know you're going to think we're crazy and you're going to think that is terrible for you, but it's actually not. It's non-fat dry milk, vitamin A, vitamin D, and it does contain milk. It's actual milk. So what you can do is
Somehow
mix
they
this.
figured out how to freeze dry it.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Right. Geniuses. So you can mix it with just a little bit of water and it can make you your milk. So have we tried it? No. But we're going to. And we're not going to tell Wyatt when he eats his cereal. We're going to see what he thinks. So that allows us to not have to go to the store. You know, obviously it's probably not very good tasting, but we don't drink much milk. It's usually for cooking, baking. Wyatt eats it with his cereal, and that's about the extent of it. However, we always have milk on hand just because you never know. So yeah, that's gonna let us not have to go to the store and buy milk this month.
Yeah, because like I said, we're trying to take this to the next level.
And we were out, so.
Right, we're out completely out of milk. We did not go.
No, could we have gone and stocked up and bought 3 gallons? Absolutely, but would that be fair? No.
No. But if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do so. It's just we're trying to take it a little extra step. I'm really saying, what if we couldn't go?
As if it just happened right now.
Right now, they said
What you have in your house is what you get.
you're stuck for at least a month. So let's see. Let's try to really get creative, and that is one of the most creative things, because that was the question. We was like, what are we gonna do for dairy? And I just kind of laughed like we're a freaking dairy farm.
Yeah.
But I kind of laughed, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, or she actually was. I forgot what she even bought that for, but it was so good to have on hand. I'm like, hey, let's make some milk.
And obviously, if
Sorry.
it was like a, situation where we had to have food, we would keep our dairy animals in milk.
Right.
We wouldn't let them go out of milk.
No.
But we do that because we don't necessarily have to have it, and it's better for their health.
Because we have the luxury right now.
Yeah.
All right, so you're just gonna put what, maybe a little bit in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put maybe half and see how that goes.
So if y'all have never had Instapot rice, like it is pretty sweet.
It's really thick, not like a jam, but I don't know what chutney is, but I don't feel like I could compare it to that.
There you
Or
go.
maybe salsa. I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely call it like a chunky salsa for sure.
I think it's gonna be really good. I just think it's gonna give it like an islandy flavor.
I do too. Very fresh, very light, because the pineapple and rice, and that's just, it's all good things together.
Put the rest in.
Love it. Love the sounds.
I'm gonna try it.
All right. Okay.
Oh, good.
Very good.
I think it'll be really yummy.
I want to try something with the rice. Cool it down.
So if any of you made that with me, there's a good use for it right there.
Mm-hmm. It did exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And that would be great with like a piece of cod or mai or something just sitting right on top with some lemon juice. Ooh, we have lemon juice.
Hot.
It was really good.
Right here I need to use.
Yeah, I would cut that up and squirt it in there, and man, I'm excited we're having chicken, but that would be awesome with any kind of fish or seafood on it. That's good. Good idea, babe. Good idea. And look at that, we're on day 3, and this is another great thing about this challenge. We just found a recipe we probably never would have tried, would we?
I'm fine. I just made that.
Well, that's what I meant, that we made up, but it's because we were forced to try to use some things in our pantry. Would have probably never done it before, and like throwing that in there. But
It's kind of cool. Like today he went in for dinner because I said, what do you want for dinner? I had cooked breakfast and lunch with some stuff that we had. But I said, go in there and pick out some. So he came back with 3 jars, and it was like, okay, now how do we make this into a meal?
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's that Food Network thing where they have the box, and they don't know what, and they open it, it's just a bunch of random stuff.
Mystery ingredients.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like, all right, how can we make this good? And it's pretty fun. It's fun. I like it. It's a good little challenge. All right, dinner is ready, and we're about to show you this awesome meal that Jen just prepared. I did want to acknowledge with this challenge, like, we preserve a lot of food. Like, we, in our opinion, are sustainable for basically the whole year if we needed to be. So this is strictly to weep out the old stuff that if we don't eat soon, will be wasted. Yeah. So we're not telling you, like, go empty your pantry of any food that you may have. Because you need something. You always want to make sure that you have a backup. So this is more for people that do just have a lot of stuff they've had for a long time and you need to get rid of. That's around what the challenge is. Don't go eat all of your food and have nothing at the end of January, because it is January. We don't have gardens, in progress right now, which we do with our fresh salad greens. But the mass amounts, y'all know what I'm trying to get at. I just wanted to acknowledge that part. This isn't go empty and eat everything you have and not have anything left come February.